Texas and Mississippi lift their restrictions, many San Diegans are wondering how much longer California's will be in place. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons takes an in-depth look at what doctors say needs to happen for life to get back to normal.
I think this is the end of the beginning of the pandemic.
After a year of masks, outdoor dining, and widespread business closures, Sharp Staley Dr. Abisola Olulade says we still have a long way to go before life goes back to normal.
We're definitely not there yet. We're still in this tunnel that's still dangerous, and it is a bit of a risky time when we have these numbers that are going down because people start to let their guard down.
Recent numbers in San Diego show COVID cases have been dropping since the beginning of January as vaccine numbers rise. But researchers are still trying to figure out if the vaccine can prevent transmission of the disease.
If you have gotten vaccinated, remember that someone who's unvaccinated is not necessarily protected from you. So you still have to mask, you still have to distance, you still have to wash your hands.
The CDC may release new guidelines this week on what's safe, and even Dr. Fauci says small groups of vaccinated people should be able to gather without masks. But right now, the CDC website says even people who have been vaccinated should still wear a mask, wash hands, and avoid crowds as we learn more about how COVID-19 vaccines work in real-world conditions. Studies from several other countries show promise that vaccines slow transmission, but no final conclusions, and doctors are still worried about variants bringing another surge.
It's just a difficult thing to determine. You almost have to test people every single day and test their contacts every day, and it's a complex thing to prove.
Then there's the issue of herd immunity, where people who don't have the vaccine are still protected because a large enough percentage of the population does. The World Health Organization says they still don't know what that percentage is for COVID since it varies from disease to disease. For perspective, measles requires 95% for herd immunity. Polio requires 80%. In the U.S. right now, only about 8% of the population has a COVID vaccine.
Yes, we would need some amount of herd immunity before we can start to relax these guidelines. And so masks do still have to be in place and distancing until that time.
Which means it may still be months before Petco gets packed, movie theaters sell out, or restaurants resume full indoor dining. But Dr. Olulade says the end of the beginning brings hope that what got us this far can get us the rest of the way.
Virus is not what has all the power. We have a lot of the power. So it depends on us and our ability to continue to follow these guidelines and measures and realize that we're not at the end.
Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
In San Diego County, so far more than 943,000 doses of the vaccine have been administered. Just over 10% of the population is fully vaccinated. And if you have a question about the vaccine that you'd like us to look into, send an email to tips@10news.com.